I'm Ben Stykuc, and today for Asian Movie Pulse, I'm going to be taking a look at the 1977 kung fu piece from Taiwan, the Shaolin Invincibles, directed by Cheng Hou. For people of a certain vintage, like myself, may remember a Steve Martin movie called Bowfinger, where he plays a absolutely inept director who was later hired at the end of the movie to direct a very cheap exploitation ninja flick, and exclaims to his crew, "We're going to Taiwan." That should give you an indication of what you will encounter should you bravely put on a copy of the Shaolin Invincibles. During this particular era, from the 70s to the 80s, there was a whole string of exploitation genre films released in that particular era, trying to capitalise on particular trends, and the martial arts movies, clearly no exception. With the Shaolin Invincibles, we open with the two sisters, played by Judy Lee and Doris Long respectively, being trained up in swordplay techniques so that they can take on a tyrant played by Cheng Hou, who has murdered their family. This sort of happens over the opening credits, same staple as we usually get from most of these films, and they go off on their journey and encounter two heroes played by Carter Wong and Tan Tao Liang, aka Flash Legs Tan, very much a disciple and staple feature of these movies that you will encounter. As ever in these types of films, you will get plenty of action set pieces, sort of exposition dialogue, and finally a huge encounter with all the bad guys. So far, so normal a piece of exploitation work. And if you were to watch this feature for the first 20 minutes or so, you'll be very much your standard action piece, nothing you think you've never seen before. And that's when the Kung Fu Gorillas turn up. And no, I'm not making this up, we do actually have two Kung Fu fighting gorillas, and these are probably the bit that people remember most out of this film. Now, usually we have the standards where you say no animals were harmed during the making of this feature. I don't think you have to worry about that. It is very evidently from the moment they materialise with their scrunchy walking sound effects that they are two men in rather bedraggled gorilla costumes that basically look like they've escaped a bachelor party or a rip-off King Kong film that happened to be shot on another part of the set. Throw in two wizards with elongated tongues for no apparent reason other than obviously the special effects department had them there, and a whole other variety of weird ensemble martial arts sequences, and you've suddenly taken a turn into the left field, and you're kind of wondering what you're actually watching, but all of a sudden it's become vastly entertaining. The two gorillas are first introduced and basically take out a lot of the tyrant's associates as a way of proving their skills, and then the tyrant manages to master them because their weakness is on their heads, and they are also impervious to sword blows, as you do. Apparently they have some sort of armour or whatever, I do not know, that prevents them from being dealt deathly blows by swords. At this particular point, you're just going, okay, let's just see where this goes, and then they disappear for a little bit and just sort of crop up towards the end of the narrative. You get to the finale and you're going, okay, it's been relatively sane for the last sort of 20 minutes, but no, we are now going to take it a whole notch up, and for those who love a good genre exploitation film, this is when the absurdity just goes into hyperdrive and the fun really kicks in. We have underground passageways that suddenly materialise, which I'm very good at geography, but pretty sure that you don't just go straight from a sort of underground passage into a valley or a field very quickly. But that's what happens if you follow this passageway and you take a wrong turning. And there's also booby traps thrown in as well, just because, well, we have a bit of budget left over, let's throw in some fireworks and a flamethrower just because it makes it a bit more entertaining. The finale features some makeup work that would shame a 10-year-old. It is truly shocking. The eye effect, I'll just leave you to watch the movie and see what you do, and it looks a little like whether the person's disfigured or just trying to pass himself off as a pizza. It is really, really poor, but again, just adds to this whole entertainment level of what I'm actually experiencing right now. The cast, to their credit, play this absolutely straight. Mind you, having watched Carter Wong for years in movies, those of you being familiar with the name, he'll be best known for his appearance in Big Trouble in Little China. He is always serious. I mean, his eyebrows are so serious on that bit. They probably learnt Kung Fu before he did. And his Kung Fu expressions range something from just incredibly stern, or I think he might be slightly constipated. He's a great presence, and he has very skill with his fighting techniques, but why so serious, as the Joker would once say. Tan Tao Liang really gets to sort of show off his boot work in the finale, showing just why he was one of the best leg fighters in the whole industry around that time, along with Huang Zhang Li, John Liu, and just adds a bit more depth and a bit more pizzazz to the final sequences. As the sisters, Doris Long and Judy Lee, again, play it dead straight, and that only adds to the hilarity with what we're seeing. When you see Carter Wong going up against the two wizards with the elongated tongues basically being used as weapons. Again, I am not making this up. This generally happens in the movie, and how he defeats them is like something out of a Looney Tunes cartoon. It is absolutely it is priceless. It really generally is. And then you have the two sisters teaming up against the gorillas because, hey, why not? And this movie, in the dubbed version, genuinely featured the line, "There are two gorillas coming this way, it looks like they know Kung Fu." A line never heard or seen anywhere else in the entire movie industry, and they are shuffling forward. Not sure what technique it is they are using. It's certainly not monkey style, that's for sure. But again, just hysterically mad. I can't think of anything better to say than that. When we do get to the final confrontation, it is a Scooby-Doo reveal, culminating in a series of conversations that actually do get very well performed, very well sort of lit shots. So there's some talent there, but randomly characters just then disappear. I don't know what happens to Carter Wong's character, nor Tan Tao Liang's by the end of this movie, and if anyone does know, answers on the postcard please, that would be really helpful, before the two sisters sort of culminate their odyssey to take their final revenge. Is this a good movie? Oh no. In terms of every conceivable way, it is ineptly put together with ropey special effects. As I said, two kung fu fighting gorillas, mind wizards, etc. And, not forgetting a henchman who appears to be stylised a bit like Engelbert Humperdinck and is like during the 70s with the sideburns, which pretty sure wasn't a fashionable feature back when this film is supposed to be set. But from an entertainment perspective, this must be one of the most entertaining, insanely wonderful martial arts movies of the 1970s. It is unlike anything else you will see. Even some of the weirdest miracle fighter films from Yuen Wu Ping are off the wall, but this, just because the ineptitude, actually makes it wonderful. So if you're looking for a good film, probably steer clear. If you are looking for some absolutely wonderful entertainment that you will laugh at, not with, then this is definitely the Kung Fu movie for you.